Coming up in this edition of The Play from Monday, April 22nd, 2 companies are planning layoffs. The Festival of the Arts is just around the corner, and recent activities have Oklahoma City in the national spotlight this month. But first, a Metro middle school principal has resigned in the wake of an effort to crack down on tardiness. Dozens of students were suspended during this 3-day roundup. I'm joined by Don Mikoy and Nick Trigakis off the Oklahoman's news desk. Fellas, thanks so much for joining us. And on this first day, Nick, how did the parents react, and what was the school district's response?
Well, the big news here actually is the principal involved with this roundup of students who were late for class and then suspended has now resigned her job from the school district and from the school. We are getting some reaction from parents who generally are not very happy with the school there. The school district has been a little bit slow to respond. They say it's a personnel matter and they won't give us details. What we do know is that last week the school district maybe didn't necessarily support the principal in light of the suspensions. They said they would work with her to be more positive when it comes to dealing with tardiness at school. And we can speculate that maybe that is what caused her to resign on Friday, but we're kind of digging into that and seeing why she's up and left the school now. The district says they'll continue teaching and the students there will be fine.
And what school district are we talking about?
This is Oklahoma City Schools. It's Jefferson Middle School.
Gotcha. All right. Also, the Festival of the Arts begins tomorrow, which means there's probably some rain in our forecast. What can we expect out of this year's festival?
We're going to have great coverage every day in the newspaper like we do every year, and we're starting tomorrow looking at green initiatives at the Festival of the Arts. They're trying to have an environmental conscience and clean up their act there. Not that it was bad before, but they're trying to do as well as they can to make it as green as possible. We'll be reporting on that and following it up with coverage every day through the end of the festival.
Opening ceremonies are tomorrow. Angie Bress and Tim Money will be out there covering that, and the food dude, Dave Cathy, will have his fork in hand. But let's turn to some business news. And Don Mikoy, 2 companies have filed notices with the state that they plan to lay off a significant number of people. And Don, which businesses are we talking about?
Well, one that's very well known, Raytheon, which is a defense contractor, and also another one called Interim Solutions for Government. Both of these companies contract with the Mike Monroney Center here, which is part of the FAA. They do training programs out there. With the federal cuts that have taken place with the sequestration, apparently there's been some cutbacks. We're still trying to dig into that, see what's going on there. But they have filed notice with the government that they do plan to initiate some layoffs in the future. So it may not happen, but it likely will happen. There will be some kind of layoffs or furloughs related to the cutbacks.
Another story you can expect in tomorrow's Oklahoman and on newsok.com is a look at Oklahoma City in the spotlight. The NBA playoffs are underway, the Thunder and the Rockets, but also hundreds of runners will be in town for the Memorial Marathon this weekend.
Right. As our regular readers know, Steve Lackmeyer writes about all things downtown, and Steve has got a column tomorrow where he talks about how the month of April has kind of become a showcase for Oklahoma City. We've had great changes over the last 10, 15 years. And a lot of these things come to fruition. In April, the marathon, as you mentioned, the Festival of the Arts, we've got the NBA playoffs, we've got regattas going on the river. As the weather turns warm, if you haven't been downtown lately, this is the time to go. There's all kinds of things going on, and Steve will talk about a lot of that in his column tomorrow.
It's kind of nice to annually expect the Thunder to be in the playoffs, right?
It is very nice.
You guys running in the marathon?
No.
I am, yeah.
You are? All right. Best of luck to that.
Thank you, sir.
All right. These stories can be found on newsok.com and, of course, in tomorrow's editions of the Oklahoman.